Overwatch 2 is finally here, and with it, Kiriko joins the support roster. She is the first support in 3 years to be added into Overwatch, and I'll be the first to say, it was about time we got some love. Being the first support to be added post 5v5 world, her kit was designed from the ground up to belong within the Overwatch 2 sandbox, and as such, she's really strong right now, and her strength will only grow as players actually learn how to pilot her. But before we get into the video, let me just say, if you enjoyed it or learned something new, why not leave a like and subscribe? It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps my channel grow. But let's get right back into the video. Kiriko is probably the hardest support currently in the game right now. She demands a lot from the player, but rewards those who can meet the mechanical and mental demands. She requires you at all times to be fully aware of the positioning of all your teammates, so that the second they engage in a skirmish, you can instantly join and turn that fight into a victory. Also, not to mention that she has the single highest headshot multiplier in the game as a support character. One last thing I'll mention before I get into talking about her kit is that she's a lot less aggressive than what my impressions were before playing her, but I'll explain this later, but for now, let's just explore her kit. Let's start with the easiest ability to explain, her passive. Her passive is Wall Climb, and I'm pretty sure it's self-explanatory enough that she, along with Hanzo and Genji, can hold jump while facing a wall to climb it. Okay, next up is her primary fire, the Healing Ofuda. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I'm butchering it. This is her only method of healing allies, and it has a lot to explain, so let's break it down bit by bit. When activated, Kiriko will shoot out 10 healing talismans. Each of these talismans will heal 13 health for a total of 130 health per burst. This has 5 ammo and sends out 2 talismans for each charge, and all 5 charges of this ability are quickly used in a burst. Kiriko can send out a burst of talismans approximately every 1.65 seconds, giving her an approximate average of 79 healing per second on a single target. This healing Ofuda, when aimed at an ally within 35 meters, will lock on and track to your target. It is also important to note that these healing Ofudas will not travel through terrain or barriers, even if they are currently tracking an ally. Something really important to note is that they have a really slow projectile speed, so when used at range, it will take some time to get to heal your target. Okay, moving on to a secondary fire, the kunai. When activated, Kiriko will throw out a kunai. This kunai is a projectile with a medium projectile speed and no drop. This kunai will only deal 40 damage to the body, however it will deal 120 damage if she scores a headshot. This means her headshot multiplier is 3 times. The only other character in the game with more than a 2 times multiplier is Widowmaker's Scoped Shot, which has a 2.5 headshot multiplier, which makes Kiriko extremely deadly if she's able to hit the headshot, and kinda bad if you're only hitting the body. Also, note that her kunai is her only method of dealing damage in her kit, so it's really important to be able to hit headshots to deal respectable damage. She can throw out these kunai every 0.55 seconds, and she holds 12 kunai before needing to do a reload. With body shots, she'll deal 72 damage a second, and with headshots, she will deal approximately 218 damage a second, so you can see why it's so important. Her first ability is Swift Step. This ability is at the core of how she plays and is really important to make effective use of. When activated, Kiriko will teleport to a targeted ally. This teleport can go through terrain and has a 35 meter range. You will be placed just behind them in the direction that you teleported from. This can be used in so many ways and is why she is such a presence on the map as a support. Swift Step has a 7-second cooldown. Her next ability is Protection Suzu. When activated, Kiriko will throw out a projectile that will cleanse and make teammates invulnerable in a small zone around its impact. This effect has a 0.75 second duration and a 14-second cooldown. This Protection Suzu will remove or end any negative effect that an ally is under, and will not allow any effects or damage to be done to them for the duration. This projectile has about a medium projectile speed with a slight drop, so this needs to be considered when trying to cleanse a teammate at range. Finally, onto Kiriko's ultimate, Kitsune Rush. When activated, Kiriko will summon a fox spirit that rushes forward, and it creates a zone that increases ally move speed by 50%, their fire rate by 25%, their reload speed by 50%, and reduces cooldown duration by 300%. This zone extends 25 meters in front of Kiriko and lasts for 10.5 seconds. This is a massive offensive ultimate which is great for quickly engaging and taking over a fight. Also, please remember this ultimate does not travel through terrain, so just be aware that it might stop early if used in the wrong place or on the wrong angle. Okay, that's everything within Kiriko's kit, so let's talk about just why and how she is so strong currently in Overwatch 2. The biggest thing that gives her one up on most supports is that a lot of the time you'll be split up and spread out throughout the map, and in situations like that, supports just can't help everyone. They can't provide heals or they can't contribute to everything, but Kiriko can. She can just quickly show up to a fight, cleanse you and make you immortal, and giving you a big quick burst of healing which can just save your life. This is why she is so strong. The ability to be at every fight taking place on the map, whether she is needed. She is also more than capable of defending herself, and only requires a teammate to be within 35 meters of her to allow her to escape. And even then, that's if she wants to escape, instead of just taking the fight. It only takes one quick headshot to make most characters very nervous. But let's move on to all the tips and tech that you can use to get the most out of Kiriko. When using your healing, the projectile will turn yellow when they are tracking a target and will remain blue when they have not been given a target. Her healing is also the same range as her teleport, so you can quickly and easily see if a teammate is within your healing range by just the icon of this ability. Continue on with healing. Since it is such a long travel speed, you can actually pre-heal in a way. If someone on your team is about to take damage, you can pre-fire your heals, and by the time they get to your target, something to note about the protection Suzu is that it actually knocks back enemies, providing more way to peel, as well as a way to get environmental kills. Using your teleport will actually cleanse yourself, so if you get antied or need to cleanse yourself, you alternatively could just teleport instead of using your protection Suzu to cleanse yourself. Now that we've covered some small tricks, let's go into how to actually utilize the character. Now let's be clear, Overwatch 2 is a much more inflexible environment and there is no one way to play a character, so play how you think is best, but this is just my opinion. I think Kiriko is best played generally defensively while looking for aggressive opportunities. What I mean by this is generally playing back or on off angles, looking to land headshots or heal up your team before joining whatever skirmish there is. If you try and play this character solo, you're just going to have a hard time and are better off just playing a different role. She has a lot of easy single target healing and a hard to hit low base damage secondary fire, so generally I prioritize healing over damaging in fights, but this is just situation based and effectively using both damage and healing will get the most out of the character. Just remember that your teammates can deal damage, but they generally can't heal your allies. The characters that Kiriko works best with are generally ones that love to skirmish and take off angles. This is where her teleport will get the most use, allowing her to join fights other supports just couldn't be able to. So characters like Genji and Sombra are great, as well as snipers which can always provide her with a way out of situations. In terms of supports she works well with, I would say Lucio is probably her best, as he can cover the small poke damage that she can struggle to heal up, but any support works best as she is more than capable of off healing or main healing depending on your team comp and situation. So is Kiriko worth learning? Absolutely. Right now I would say she's the best peeler in the game and is capable of main healing or off healing, allowing her to be played with almost all comps and characters, and she's just an incredibly high skill ceiling character and allows people to be the team support or a third damage dealer. But the most important thing of all is that she's really fun, and she rewards all the time you put in to learn her, which is all I can ask of a character. But thank you guys for getting this far. Overwatch 2 is a much needed breath of fresh air. Most things are fresh and fun, and as long as Blizzard continues to update and add new content like they promised, I believe this game will have a much more healthy future than what it had in the past. I actually debated making a new Overwatch videos, but after seeing the reception of the launch of Overwatch 2, I see that there are new players picking up the game and people just returning, so hopefully the community keeps growing. But till next, see you then.
My phone lights up, but it's never you. I can't help but feel so